Welcome back. President Trump says his administration is pursuing a, quote, future of all-out American energy dominance.
We're making incredible deals on energy, and we're unleashing all forms of energy, including natural gas, oil, and clean, beautiful coal. We are leading the world into the golden age, indeed, the golden age of America. With your help, that golden age will be built by American workers. It will be powered by American energy.
But what does the president's new budget law mean for green energy? Environmentalist and clean energy expert Albert Gore III recently shared his perspective with me for a Takeout takeaway. It's called the Big Beautiful Bill. It's now a law, not big and beautiful for green energy. It is aggressively anti-green energy, is it not? Break down the numbers and the impacts.
I would say that there was an aggressive ideological bent against certain policies in this bill. That was true from the very beginning. I think the end result reflects some of the hard work that was done, particularly on the Senate side, but a number
to
of
make some of those things a bit softer, delay them a bit.
I think really to show that this is aligned with a policy, a strategy to make America competitive and to bring investment and jobs into the United States. You know, a number of these members were able to speak to that from firsthand experience in their districts. So I think that where it ended up relative to where it could have been was better. However, relative to current law, prior to its passing, it was very negative for the clean energy industry in particular.
We came across a study from Princeton that indicates this law, when it all shakes out, will raise utility costs for a lot of Americans.
I've seen that study. It's not my bailiwick, but I think making it easier to bring new sources of generation onto the grid puts downward pressure on prices, and particularly the types of new generation that were accelerated by these policies.
Wind and solar in particular.
Correct, yeah.
And for someone who is possibly in the market for residential solar, I guess the word is act quickly, because the subsidies and the credits are going to disappear.
Yeah, there will always be a compelling case for rooftop solar because you'll save money on your utility bills. But in terms of lowering the upfront costs to install it, the tax credit is important, and it is phasing out over a relatively short period of time.
There is a regular description at the White House, almost daily, about the voracious energy demands that will be required to meet the challenge of artificial intelligence. And it sounds like the White House, if you look at all the executive orders and actions and regulatory moves, are believing that that's going to be fueled by fossil fuels, almost exclusively. Evaluate that.
Well, again, this is something I can speculate about. It's not my area of expertise. But when you look at all the sources of new load that's expected over the next decade or so, including EVs, including AI and data centers, it's clear that we need to bring on a lot of new and flexible energy generation. I think where EVs are differentiated from some of these huge, hundreds of megawatts required 24 hours a day for a data center, EVs are very efficient in adding new load to the grid. And they're very, very responsive to programs from utilities, from local governments to say, if you charge this way, we'll make it cheaper. And that will put downward pressure on electricity prices because if you charge at night, you're moving more electrons over the same infrastructure.
Right.
Meaning the cost per unit goes down. That benefits everybody, whether they have an EV or not. So thinking about the challenge, is really important. EVs play a very different role than data centers do, but we need a lot of new energy. And sometimes the fastest new sources of generation are, in the category of renewables.
And Albert, someone coming to this debate may hear the rhetoric along, well, you know, we don't need these market distorting subsidies for green energy because subsidies are bad. And they might think, not unreasonably, that we as a country haven't subsidized fossil fuels for a long time, but we have, haven't we?
Yeah, there are a lot of studies that show that there's been a significant amount of federal money, taxpayer money, invested in reducing the costs for oil companies to produce oil here, for refiners to do business here, to distribute liquid fuel around the country. So, you know, I think few people would argue with the idea that over the 20th century, that was a huge benefit in building the country. Similarly, it's a huge benefit to the country right now to make federal investments alongside companies like Panasonic and LG and Samsung and Rivian, and the companies that are putting hundreds of millions, billions of dollars into US manufacturing, US jobs. That's really what the core set of policies that were unwound by the recent reconciliation bill were intended to do, and they were pretty laser focused on it.
And those investments now being siphoned down could possibly mean one of two things. Projects will shut down, jobs will be lost, or other investment dollars in the private sector are going to have to be found.
Correct.
What's the likelihood of either of those two scenarios? How do you see that playing out?
Well, it'll be case dependent. I think it makes things more challenging. The US is already more expensive as a country to locate and to build a factory in, but it's a really compelling market to be in, and it's a great place to build and hire and grow as a company. So, the goal of some of these federal tax policies was to reduce the cost for a company to invest here relative to elsewhere in the world, particularly in China or in a country that is dominated by China. I think that things will shake out over time, but taking the long view, there will be some factories that will likely be suspended or, we hope none shut down, but
Scaled back,
that may
sure.
happen. Yeah. But in the long run, I think we can't lose sight of the goal, which is we need to be globally competitive in the manufacturing of products that are absolutely essential for the next century: batteries, electric vehicles, refining of critical minerals. And we've got a lot of work to do because the challenge presented by China is not going away. In fact, it's accelerating.
Albert Gore, I appreciate the time. Thanks so much.
Thanks for having me.